What's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. What's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have been a business coach for 8 years now, going on 9. I cannot believe it. And I'm all about teaching entrepreneurs how to engage in content marketing so that they can drive more traffic to their business so that they can do more business. And with 8 years of experience, I've had thousands of students through the years, and I have plenty of experience coaching people with content marketing, regardless of the kind of business model that they run. So you're in the right place. If you want coaching or I have a ton of pre-existing videos on my YouTube channel organized neatly into nice little playlists. We talk about content marketing, not just in general, but we also have playlists, entire playlists on SEO or search engine optimization. We also have playlists for content marketing on Instagram and content marketing on TikTok. I have several playlists for each of those platforms. So if you want to learn more about how to do things like that to market on behalf of your business over the next year, we're going to update everything for 2022. You're in the right place. Make sure that you subscribe, and also click that bell notification and select all for the notifications, because in January of 2022, I'm going to do something that is off the wall every single day in January of 2022. Most days it'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that I will start going live. There will be a free coaching live stream session with replays afterwards, of course, every single day in January 2022. All the thumbnails are done. All the topics have been picked out. So if you're already subscribed, make sure that you show up. If you're any of my students in the student groups or you're on my email list, I will also remind people on the daily about the session and the theme for the session and all of that. If you're not on my email list, one of the links in the show notes down below will get you a freebie and get you on that email list if you like. Or just make sure you're subscribed and you click the bell notifications and select all, so that this way you will get notifications when I go live. And I will also start posting community posts on my community tab, so that this way I can remind you guys about the sessions. On Monday and Friday, I'm in my student groups. So I'm probably going to go live Mondays and Fridays in January at around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But otherwise, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time should work. I will definitely let you guys know if I have to go off the beaten path or something like that. But the goal is to do this daily. So also, really quick announcement for my pre-existing students. The January popularity plan is out. And let me just post that and pin it. And on the replay, I'll make sure that I post the link and pin it. Again, if you're on my email list, you'll also have the link so that you can get the popularity plan. Each month there's a pack. It's not a subscription service. So each month there's a pack that comes out that has 15 graphics to help you with your relationship marketing in terms of your content marketing on behalf of your business. And 15 corresponding templated captions. Fill in the blanks, tweak the language so that it sounds more like you. Boom, you're good to go. Roughly half of your relationship marketing is covered for the month, in this case, in the month of January. And in addition, built into that price, there's 4 templated emails, one assigned for each week for the month of January. Because as I teach my students, as my students come to learn, it seems counterintuitive, but like the more you email your list, especially when you're providing value and it's not always sell, 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 the more likely it is that people will stay subscribed to you. It's when you barely ever send any emails. And when you do, it's just to ask for money and it's never anything else. The trail kind of goes too cold. That KLT factor, the no like and trust factor, is so minimal to zero. That's when you get more unsubscribes. As you do email marketing and content marketing, both separately and parallel, the content marketing is always to drive people to your email list. It's always to get them to subscribe for the coupon or the freebie, or maybe both, depending upon your business model. It might be one thing over another, but honestly, you know, it's like the more you provide goodness, the more deposit you put into the bank of KLT or know, like, and trust, the more likely it is that someone's going to stay on your email list, open your emails. And the more likely it is that if they're the right ideal customer for you, the more likely it is that they're going to shop from you. So there it is. I've got some comments. Hey, Unbound by Tiffany. What's going on? She says, hey, lovely. Hi, Miss Tiffany. Hold on. Hi, by Tiffany. What's going on? If you're one of my students, definitely give me an update over the last week. How did you do in terms of sales? What kind of content marketing theme are you having overall for this week? Is it more sales based? Is it more relationship marketing based? For a lot of you, it's probably, given this time of year, more relationship marketing based, but let me know. I care. Hi, Bridget from Personal Space Creations. What's going on? Hi, Marissa Parsons. What's going on? Hi, it's Stitchworks. What's going on? Stitchworks. What's going on? Hi, Miss Marquina. It's good to see you. Make sure you guys give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. It gets this live pushed out to more of my pre-existing subscribers. I'm at almost 1,500 subs now, which is great. Considering how sick I was for a lot of this year. Hey, Susie B, what's going on? Considering how sick I was this year, I had COVID and I was bedridden for 2 months. And then I had long COVID for a lot of the rest of the year. Because I'm over 50 and I'm immunosuppressed to begin with. So the good news was I didn't go into the hospital. The bad news was the hospitals up by me were kind of so booked that they weren't going to take me anyway unless my nails turned blue and I couldn't breathe. So good news. My nails didn't turn blue and I was able to breathe. Anyway, so let me see what's going on here. Unbound by Tiffany says, give me your updates if you're a pre-existing student. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. I also like to see when I have a global audience, I have a global student base. So I want to make sure I'm seeing who checks in when. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and post your question or whatever, and I will do my best. Hey, Carol, what's going on? Carol Tedesco O'Neill is here. Hi. Okay, so Unbound by Tiffany says, me and my hubby and my poor 6-month-old have been sick as hell with COVID. A second time for her. Oh my gosh. So over this year. Oh, Carol, I'm sorry you're battling COVID now. Gosh, yes, I'm so glad that you're okay. Thank you. I hope you guys are okay, are going to be okay too. Sending healing prayers. Saying to you guys, man, COVID's exhausting. So it kicked the crap out of me all year long. I mean, even by the spring, like if I walked from one end of my house to another, I was exhausted, and I'm not that heavy, and I'm not that out of shape. So holy crap. All right. So I know that this week also, given the fact that it's like between like Christmas and other end of the year holidays and the new year, I'm not going to have as many students tune in right now, at least live, that I normally would. That's okay. I've been doing this for 8 years. I'm totally used to it. Thank you, Tiffany and Stacey. Absolutely. Hope you get better soon. It totally sucks. But with every year, they get better and better at treating this stuff. And I'm hoping that more proactive treatments and all. I got to be careful. YouTube hates talking about the vid and the Rona. So I'll just say, hopefully things get better for everyone soon and we'll move on. Okay. So I just want to talk to you guys. If you're in Planathon, which was one of the events that I put on towards the end of the year, all of the PDFs are in your members area, and also all the video replays are in the Facebook group. My video editor, Barney, lives in Cebu, Philippines, and he was in the direct path of the storm. Part of his roof is gone, and the side of his house got impacted. So there's tarps on his house, and the power, I think the power is mostly restored in and around his area. He can definitely Slack message me through his phone. He had to go to his local church to be able to hook up his computer because he's editing the replays that are in the Facebook group for Planathon. He can download them easily enough. He can certainly edit them in his area, but to upload them is crazy because there's so little stuff working in and around his area. And so many people, of course, are working and trying to upload stuff. So he is hopefully going to be able to get all the videos edited for Planathon so that you don't just have the replays in the Facebook group, but that you will also have the edited videos in your members area. Hopefully, we can get that done over the next 72 hours. Barney can usually turn things around really quickly, but given the facts and circumstances for where he lives, we're asking for a little bit of patience. But if you're in the Facebook group, you have all the lessons anyway in there, and I've numbered them all so you can go in order. Okay. So Tiffany says, it sucks so bad, but thank God fevers are gone and I can swallow again. So all is good, man. Thank God for you, man. I've learned so much from Planathon, said Carol. Thank you so much. Yeah, that is a very popular thing that I've done annually. It's usually earlier in December. But what Planathon is, just for the unacquainted, is once a year I have an event. Any of my pre-existing students, who want to sign up can. It's like 4 to 6 hours of training, and we literally take like our calendars, digital, paper, or both, and we plan out like our sales and sales-based promotions, and we block out any time that we need, for personal life or whatever. Then we reverse engineer. When are your sales promotions going to be every single month? And then with the space that's left over, that's definitely time that you have to spend relationship marketing. Because, like I said kind of earlier on already with this live stream, if you don't put in enough deposits into the bank of KLT or know, like, and trust, you might get some sales, but you tend to get more sales when you have a brand based community and you really care and you love up on your people and they can tell, and you're providing a lot of relationship building based content that kind of is reflective of what they're interested in too. There's a lot of stuff, just being a nice human translates out to everybody. But I often do say that you do need to do about 2 to 3 times the relationship marketing based content as to the sales based content. But what's important about Planathon, if nothing else, I mean, I'm not going to spill all the beans here because it's a paid event, but what a lot of my students do fine is it kind of is that hackneyed old phrase, fail to plan, plan to fail. If you don't go through the whole calendar for 2022, block out all the birthdays, celebrations, weddings, whatever that you already know you have to do, vacations, block it all out. Then you look month by month and go, I have to have at least 2 income producing events or sales, depending upon your business model, income producing events or sales, so that I train up my social following and my email list and I'm a business. Like, they should expect to be sold to, even though I'm providing a lot of cool, like, freebies and other, type of relationship marketing based stuff. Like, maybe you're doing what I do, live streams and replays, and also in my case, edited videos on YouTube, right? And once in a while, I'll remind you that I have something for sale, like the popularity plan. But most of what, that's kind of like a PS. I'm taking Q&A. I will be an accountability kind of partner for you week to week. Because usually I do go live stream all year round. I do go live stream on my YouTube channel on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As long as there's no tech issues, the replays go up immediately after that. So all year round, you can get freebies, in terms of free coaching and free Q&A stuff. I see I have more comments, so I'll get to that in a minute. But January, every single day in January, even if I'm just on for like 10, 15 minutes, I teach what I got to teach and I get off. Every day in January 2022, there will be live streams, there will be replays, and I'll have it organized in a nice playlist too, because I know some YouTube users just love the playlists, and they are really good to organize everything by topic and theme. So if you know of anybody who is just starting out on their journey as an entrepreneur, maybe they're part of the great resignation that already took place. And as I understand it, there's a lot of millennials and younger who also plan on quitting their jobs in 2022. Maybe they're waiting for their bonuses and stuff like that, and their reviews, and then they're done. If you know of anybody who is going to start a business, or they're starting a business, or they're kind of trapped in beginner mode, they can't get proof of concept, they don't know how to work their business in their everyday life, especially if they're entrepreneurial parents, that makes things even harder. Or if they have dependents, they're not necessarily children, but they're doing elder care. It's a lot. Make sure that you spread the word that every day in January 2022, most days at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be here and I can, answer questions and, do my little teaching and then answer any questions about that teaching first, and then other questions that people have open, so that I can get you to start driving more traffic to your business to do more business. And that you set up the foundation of your business to build the house of your success on in 2022. No. Yeah, Tiffany, next year, Planathon is a really great annual event. I've done that for several years out of the 8 years that I've coached now. Okay, so Bridget from oh no, I'm sorry. This is Stitchwork staff account. So that's Jennifer, right? Jennifer, that's you. She said, finished my 7 days of Christmas sports last week. Oh, yeah, this is definitely Jennifer Majors. Just doing relationship marketing this week. I still have orders I'm finishing up for birthdays, so I'm still crazy busy with business. I love that. Jennifer's one of my more advanced students for sure. Carol says, chock full of great ideas. I needed this plan to help get me organized for Planathon, she's saying. And I'll circle back to that in a minute. Jennifer said, I emailed my list every single day last week, and with the help of Canva, which I love, even the free version of Canva is so worth it. Engagement was up over 20%. Good girl. And I'm going to tell you, like, if you're like, well, what kind of, KPI or key performance indicator when it comes to emails is really good. You're in e-commerce more likely than not, no matter what your business model is, no matter what you're selling and who you're selling to. Today, most businesses do all or most of their selling online. They have an online presence. So you consider yourself e-commerce if you didn't already. Even if you're a coach, course creator like me, it's e-commerce. You don't have to sell products, digital, tangible, or both, to be considered e-commerce. So really good open rates and really good engagement rates when it comes to e-commerce emails starts at 2%. So 20% is like 10 times better than that. Once you're at 10% or higher in terms of conversion rates at all, people are opening the emails, people are clicking on the links, people are shopping. You are converting at 10% or higher. That's like unicorn time. So I'm really proud of you. So Jennifer finishes, I will have a New Year's shuffle this weekend. That's another type of sales promotion that I teach my students to do. So I think that's great. She also adds, need to go back to the gingerbread frosting. That's like an 8-lesson mini course that I have that's evergreen for December. So it's like December marketing and December sales-based plans for you to use. She says, so I need to go back to the gingerbread frosting and make sure I have the shuffle procedure correct in my head. Began teasing the shuffle yesterday, and Tiffany's cheering on Jennifer, saying that that's awesome. Carol says, Stacey, is there a list of all the plans you offer and when they are offered throughout the year? Yes, I will circle back to that. Tiffany says she's so excited for January. Yep, it's me. I call her. Bridget said, sorry, in and out today, because now she's here as Bridget Upcycle Lawson. She's got 2 different accounts. Unbound by Tiffany says, I'm still trying to figure out Canva emails. Okay, so I will circle back to your question in a second, Carol, because it's a good one. So Tiffany, YouTube is replete with click by click, step by step, like how to do things. So I would always recommend you go there. Use the YouTube filter, especially when you're looking up like tech-based stuff like that. You don't want to go too much further than 6 months to a year out, because, as with any software, buttons can move, things can change. It's crazy. So when I look up how to do things like step by step or click by click on YouTube, I will search for what I'm looking for, but then there's that filter option to the top of your screen. Pick filter, and I wouldn't go more than a year back. So this way, and then I would, of course, look at whatever is a couple weeks to a month out, because that's probably the most accurate screen by screen, click by click. And they will show you. There is a YouTuber, Natural Vita. Oh, I forget her whole account name. She's really good for MailChimp, and she's really good for Canva as well. Let me see. Let me just pull her up really quickly. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Let me just look this up. No thanks, YouTube. Okay. Natural Vita. Natural Vita tutorials. So let me just type it down here. Natural. So the word natural with VITA attached to it. So it's like Natural Vita, all one word. Tutorials. She's really good for things like MailChimp, and I want to say Canva too. I think most of my beginner students, oh yeah, she does Canva based stuff. She does Canva based stuff. There's a lot of really good tutorials out there. Um, YouTube would be my guide. Okay. Even for people in my socialgram shortcut course, that's like an Instagram marketing and sales based deep dive, just of course for the Instagram platform. I know the first module was very click by click. I'm going to be tearing that out. I'm going to be vamping that course. I'm going to be updating Social Talk Shortcut, my TikTok deep dive course, although that's largely up to date. The only thing that's not up to date is just the fact that you can go to 3 minutes on TikTok instead of a minute. My advice in that course otherwise stays the same, but I'm going to remaster that. Social Pin Shortcut, my Pinterest deep dive course, that's pretty that's pretty up to date. Thank God. So but one of my New Year's resolutions for January is to get anything updated that needs to be updated for my pre-existing students. And Planathon, if Barney didn't have his connectivity issue, we would have been done with getting those lessons edited and in your members area. But again, they're in your Facebook area. So Carol asked a very good question. Stacey, where's a list of all your offerings and when you have them? So what I'm doing is, don't peek, don't look yet. I'm updating my main company website, and I'm also putting up a new website for just under my name. You should be able to in January see all those things and get clickable links to anything that I sell there through one or both websites. So I'm doing that myself. And so, but I'm so close to being done. So you will definitely get an email because I know Carol, you're on my email list. A lot of the people who are here live right now are. If you're one of the thousands upon thousands of people on my email list, you will get, once those websites are updated, you'll get links to the websites and you can go check it out. Unbound by Tiffany says, is it just a graphic as the entire email? That's the part I'm confused on. Tiffany, can you rephrase that question so that I understand it? I blame me. And then I'll answer it. I want to elucidate so you're not confused. Bridget says, this is the brand that I'm focusing on this year. Personal Space Creations is almost on autopilot, almost. Bridget's an intermediate going into advanced student of mine. She and her husband, Darren, have two separate and parallel businesses. And so they're getting one on autopilot. They have a brick and mortar business and an online only business, but the brick and mortar business has more of an online presence. And so, of course, that helped them a lot in 2020 because brick and mortar suffered if they didn't know what they're doing. Bridget says, we're doing a live sale tomorrow night, clearing all the name brand oils out. Right, because you're phasing that out of your business. And I understand that. Oh, Daniela, what's going on? Hi, Miss Daniela. Spread the word about the free coaching daily that will go down on this YouTube channel daily in January 2022. Most days it should be starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, unless there's a tech issue, replays will be made available. I'm thinking that I'm going to start 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays and Fridays because I have one-on-group student coaching at 10 a.m. elsewhere. So I'm not going to move that for those students and cause like all sorts of confusion. Okay, so Tiffany is restating. Okay, she said, yes, sorry. When you create it in Canva and connect it to MailChimp to send, do you just create the single page graphic and it becomes the entire email? I'm used to just making snippets of graphics. Okay, I can't answer that question because I'm going to be honest with you. I have a designer, so she creates the designs that go in my emails, and I just, create the emails and plug them in. For any like broadcasts, email broadcasts or blasts that I send out to my list. Otherwise, if you have automated emails, like say a welcome series, somebody just subscribes to your email list, that's more like an automated series. That's not a broadcast. A broadcast is something that you do on the fly, even if you're scheduling it for the next day or later on the same day. It's like a standalone, I'm just sending out an email to the list. I don't count broadcast in with automated email series. So, like for a welcome series, the first email delivers whatever they opted in for. So, is that a coupon code? Is it a freebie? It depends upon what business model you have. Could be both. Who knows? But also, I always say, don't make that a super short and sweet email. That email you get 90 to 100% open rates on. You're never going to see that again. Like, I hate to sound negative, but you're never going to see that again. So while you have people's attention, because they're waiting for that email, it should come to them pretty instantaneously. They're waiting on it. They want their goodie coupon or both. When they open it up, they should get your website in there so that they can go shop if they're ready to. But this is an indoctrination email. They should get a blurb about what you're all about, what you do, who you do it for, and the outcome that they're expecting. They should get the link to your website so they can go shop, especially if you give them a coupon code, they want to shop now. And you should also let them know what your other social links or handles are. And for God's sakes, if you have a YouTube channel, let them know where they can go and subscribe. Because at least once a week, that is the minimum frequency to really work a YouTube channel properly. Even if you go live and post the replay, that's frequency enough, especially if that live/replay is well optimized. Then YouTube will like you enough because that's consistency. The minimum frequency to achieve proper frequency, if everything else is working for your YouTube optimization plan, is once a week. You do less than once a week, you are really not, you're not working YouTube. And that's a minimum to be competitive in your space, 2 to 3 times a week. And I know people hate to hear that. And for beginners, this is why I tell beginners, if you can't handle YouTube, that's fine. Make sure you get proof of concept. Make sure that you're covering the 2 top social media platforms that are most important to your niche daily. So if you don't have a sale or a promotion, then fine. Make sure that you're posting relationship marketing based content. Entertain them, educate them, inspire them, do a fusion blend of those things with your content. Show them that you care about whatever intersecting interest or main pain point or main passion point would bring them to a business like yours that has offerings like yours. So you're clearly not all about the money. You clearly are someone who cares, and you're clearly someone who knows what you're talking about. People buy from people and businesses that they like. And so many of my students, not all of them, are selling to millennials, Gen Y to Gen Z. They don't necessarily, in most cases, want to buy from big box stores or from legacy brands that are so big and bloated that they can't pay attention to the individual people who love and support that brand. They would rather, whenever they can, find like a brand leader or a business owner and like a grassroots revolution to be a part of that speaks to their main pain point or their main passion point. To me, this is why relationship marketing is so important. You can't just have a bare bones brand and shovel a lot of ad revenue. And you could have great creative for your ads. You could spend all sorts of money on ads, but all ads are going to do and ad spend's going to do is make a failing product or a failing concept fail faster. So unless you're rich, I would not say, especially as a beginner with little to no proof of concept, meaning sales just from organic content marketing out in the wild, if you can't get that, or at least get people seriously asking about your products, don't be running ads. Once you're intermediate to advanced, you can start running ads because you guys sell. Beginners should also be having at least 2 sales promotions a month. If you're a products-based business, digital, tangible, or both, go nuts. You sell merch, fine. You sell print on demand or phantom products, fine. You should at least have 2 sales, whether they're coupon codes or site-wide sales, a month. If you have 1 sale or less a month, you're going to feel like a hobbyist and not like a real business, even to Gen Y, Gen Z. You're going to spook them out. Like, you need to have at least 2 sales a month. When you're intermediate, you should be having at least 3 sales a month. When you're advanced, you should be averaging a sale every single week. There's no such thing as being too pushy. You're a business. So you're putting out a lot of value. You're doing relationship marketing nonetheless, no matter what level of business proficiency you're at. But like, how do you think you're going to get to 6 figures or above? My advanced students are 6 figures or above. And you want to know why? It's because they are selling every single day of the week. Okay. And if people want to unsubscribe, That's fine by them because they're out there content marketing and bringing more leads. They're capturing more leads onto their email list every single day, every single week. You're always going to get unsubscribes. You cannot take those personally. All right. So, okay. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. Jennifer says, do you want me to share the template with you? Jennifer's great with stuff like that. Jennifer's advanced. She can help you. Okay, cool. So they're training that. Marquina says, what's Phantom Products? Great. Thank you. Very good question. It's literally print on demand, right? So if you're selling, like, say, like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill has comfortfoodclothes.com. That's a website we launched, but then with all the supply chain issues, we backed off for a bit. Come the new year, we're going to be pushing a new collection a month to our email list for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. They're pushing towards 10,000 people on that email list. So we're not printing that stuff out ourselves. We're driving traffic to a third-party vendor that will, print out these products. So when you go to comfortfoodclothes.com, you can see we have like digital examples of what those products are, but they haven't been printed out or anything. They're phantom. They're not real yet. You want to place an order for some of those things, you can, and then they will get printed out. We don't do the product creation, fulfillment, or anything like that. So we basically get a commission to drive the traffic to that third-party vendor as I fuss with my hair. But they handle almost everything. We would have to do some customer service if somebody's like, oh, the image got messed up, and then we would work with the third-party vendor to get them a new product. Whatever. So does that make more sense? So it's any sort of print on demand sort of situation, or like a sublimation sort of thing where you have digital sublimation, you're probably doing it yourself. And you're handling order fulfillment yourself. You're handling the print on demand. Does that make sense? So I've coached students like that, or folks that have like Zazzle accounts, like, they print out like mugs and stationery and stuff. Hey, Brookfield Candle, what's going on? What's going on? Late to the hashtag live this morning. Oh, Michelle McLaughlin's here. Hi, Michelle. What's going on? Daniela says, presently our house is in a mold remediation product that keeps growing. Oh, geez, I'm so sorry. But you know what? You're going to be safer and healthier for having had that done. I don't say it lightly because I know that's expensive, Daniela. I'm so sorry. She says, I've been trying to balance the business between creating business chores and social media marketing. Not easy with all that's going on. I know that. Marquina says, thanks. Makes sense. Cool. And Tiffany's being very nice. She's greeting everybody. Hey, girl. All right. So does anybody have any questions for me? So even if you weren't part of Planathon, the one thing that I would share openly here, and don't forget to share out this YouTube channel in any groups or anything like that, and let them know every single day in January 2022, I'm going to do a live stream with a replay to help, entrepreneurs really get set to make the most of January of the year 2022, so that they can set up their content-based marketing, their email-based marketing, so that they can drive more traffic to their business to do more business. And some people are talking back and forth about the 6-month-old baby. Not mine. I have a 13-year-old. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I actually have a teenager. I will tell Tiffany this. The time goes by very quickly. Daniela says, working my way through Planathon, this at the moment is my top priority. Yes, because all the PDFs that are in there are going to help you capture more business expenses to write it off against income. Oh, by the way, I may as well say this for any students of mine who have paid me anything for anything this year. Make sure you speak to your tax professional no matter where they are in the world, because you should be able to write off. In the US, you might be able to write off. I'm not your tax professional. This is issue spotting, not advice. But you should be able to write off like 100% of anything you spend on me or Renee Christine or anybody else that you have purchased stuff from, because you're investing in your business, even business training. So make sure that you recapture all the income that you possibly can. Get like a refund or a bigger refund if you can. If you're my intermediate to advanced students, you're not getting refunds anymore. You're making tens of thousands of dollars to $100,000 or more if you're advanced. So it's all about just making sure you're paying less taxes. Okay. In the United States, there's something called the AMT, or the alternative minimum tax. Again, discuss that with your accountant or your CPA. There is a limit to what you can write off, but it's pretty high. So you're good. Make sure that you write off what you can. La 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 la. Carol O'Neill says, "Can you suggest where to start after Planathon? Which program should I go to next?" um, and then Tiffany's like, "He's doing great, much better than that. He's not miserable with COVID now, thank God. He's his happy, bouncy self again. He's talking so much. I love it. I can't imagine how I will survive with a 13-year-old. All I can say is make sure, really quickly, and then I'm going to get back to Carol's thing. You know, you're never going to feel like doing the adulting. My quickest advice to people is you want to be friendly with your kid and love them to death, but you have to be a parent, not a friend all the time. And so as long as you have structure, routine, and parameters, but you're super loving and you're super into your kid and they know that, then you shouldn't feel too much like Mr. or Miss Facilitator. And you should have a healthy relationship with your kid, but there's parameters, there's respect. So by the time they get to 13, my kid's like several inches taller than I am, and he's in sports, so he's very strong. You don't want to wait till they're a teenager to try and get them into shape, because they're probably going to be bigger, stronger than you. It's all about getting them now while they're their happy little blob selves, and really keep that structure and that routine and that level of respect. You want to be their friend and not their parent, but you have to be their parent. So, oh gosh, a baby with COVID, poor thing. I know. So, Carol, what I would suggest, first of all, make sure you've done Planathon all the way through. We do have the basic formulae to make sure that the foundation of your business is clear. I do talk about the Stacey sales success formula here. I've done it before. So, this part I'll also say out loud too, and not just in the parameter of my trainings. You want to make sure that you have these three things set when you're determining what your business is about, or you're pivoting, right? You're cleaning things up, you're cinching things in, you're tightening them up. Because if you have a fuzzy business concept, you're going to have fuzzy results if you have any at all. But it's not just these three things that you have to know to get business success in sales, but you have to do them in order. And this is where a lot of my new students to me, almost always they've messed up. They're not doing these three things in order, even if they kind of nailed these three things. And a lot of them don't even nail all three things. What are the three things? First and foremost, whom do you serve? Who's your ideal customer? Secondly, what is their main pain point? Okay, what can you help them with? And then third, research them enough, do the market research and understand them out in the wild enough, like study them in social media and stuff. Understand what they want and what they need. And that's what you create and sell to them. Because too many of my students, this isn't just products-based students. It could be coaches, course creators, people who provide services like organizers to landscapers. They sit there and they go, well, I've created my service package, or, well, I created my course. Well, I set up my boot camp for one-on group coaching with some content. Why aren't people signing up? Or why aren't enough people signing up? And the thing of it is, you can't start with the offering. When I say offering, I mean product, service, a bit of both, whatever. You have to start with whom you're going to serve, because you've got to do the right market research. If you try to sell to everybody, you end up selling to nobody, right? You've heard that till you're blue in the face, more than likely. And it's true. But even once you picked your ideal customer, you can't be a Swiss Army knife to them, especially as a beginner and intermediate. You're advanced, you have a big team, you have a huge platform, a lot of know, like, and trust. Maybe you can start doing some related problem solving. But until then, you are dealing with one main pain point, and that's it. Okay, my main pain point really that I help people solve is how to do their content marketing on social media, emails, otherwise, how to do their content marketing to drive traffic to their business to do business. I'm not going to teach you how to set up a website. I'm not going to teach you, how to make sure, your say, I'm not a Swiss Army knife for anybody. And I'm an advanced business. I've definitely been six figures to multiple six for a while now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would never try to be a be all end all. It's too much. I do have a small team. I have some more debt to pay off, and then I can reinvest in my team again. And then I can scale even higher. But you need to know who you're selling to. You need to know what one pain point you are interested in helping them to resolve, that you also have the chops to help them resolve. And then you do the research on them to see what it is that they're saying to each other and to other business owners and to influencers in that space having to do with that pain point, what it is they need, what it is they want, what words do they use, what slang are they using, what are they saying, what do they think they need. If they're right, that's easy. You can do a matchup and give them exactly what they're asking for. That other big bloated creators or big businesses, they don't have the time to rake through the comments and pay attention so much. That's what I mean by studying your people out in the wild. But if you don't pick your person, right, you can't do the content marketing where when they come across your videos, when they come across your social media posts, if they get on your email list and they're receiving your emails, if you're not using words, terminology, if they don't feel like you get them, you either are them or you get people like them. If, like, when they come to your website or your shop or your content or whatever, and they don't feel like you're holding up a mirror and they go, wow, that is me, or they get someone like me, they are not likely to give you much, if any, in the way of the three macro conversions that matter for your business. Are they following you on social or YouTube or wherever? Are they getting on your email list? Are they buying from you? If they're not following you on social and or getting on your email list, it is very unlikely that they will buy from you. And you can shovel people directly to your website all you want. Go ahead, Google it. This is not fake news. About 2% of people will buy from you on that first visit, 98% won't. That's why I'm saying capture the lead and nurture it through email marketing, and then continue parallel through content marketing on social media and elsewhere to nurture them along to ascend them in a relationship with you, because 98% of them need that, whether you like it or not. I don't care what other gurus promise you. Garbage. Most people aren't going to buy from you. Oh my goodness. Carol says my sons are 34, 31, and 29. Patience, respect, and talk, talk, talk. Communication can solve so many problems. I only have the one 13-year-old. I'm telling you that. I'm a micromanager, so a teenage version of him terrifies me, says Tiffany. And Carol, that's freaking incredible. You both amaze me. You do got this. Carol says I'm an HTU and an ultimate architect. So I have the who, the where, they hang out, etc. Good. Because Ultimate Architect and HTU or Handmade Titan University, those are Renee Christine courses. Ultimate Architect is a website building course that I'm not going to teach that course. I found Renee Christine because of that course. I don't do a products-based business. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is kind of like an edible products-based business. I'm not out to teach you how to create a website. That's not what I'm interested in. I can't stand tech, and most of my students know that. So I will always and forever be a referral to Renee for Ultimate Architect. No matter what business model you're working, you need your own website. If you don't, depending upon what you Google in terms of the statistics, between 60 to 80% of people will not buy from you. So if they're opening up another tab because they found you on Etsy or Amazon or anything like that, and they cannot identify you as a standalone business, people are used to being burned online now. We're many, many, many years into having online business. People get spooked and they go bogey on you. So if you seem like a hobbyist or a fly-by-night, they're not going to trust you. So even though 98% of people who go to your website itself the first time might not buy, they still need to see that you have a website. If they don't, that could be in and of itself an explainer in terms of why you don't get many or any sales from month to month. You just seem too much like a hobbyist, and there's too much competition for everything out there. So you do have to seem like you're a real business. Okay, even if you're not a big, big legacy business, you don't have to be. Like I said earlier, Gens Y and Z would, in many cases, prefer that you not be. So Ultimate Architect, I would always refer people to. Handmade Titan University is useful to you if you're a products-based business, especially a handmade products-based business. But I do think it's been a minute since I've looked in that course because I have that too. I love Renee. I do think she's updated it so it's not just handmade anymore. Can you guys tell me if I'm right? Those of you who have access to it? Okay, marketing is definitely my problem. And that's the thing. And says Carol. And then Tiffany says, I struggle with the market research part still, even after these years. Darren Jewelry business, I struggle finding the pain point. I'll get to that in a minute. Michelle says, I'm not good at marketing either. Most entrepreneurs aren't because that's not your job. Your job is creating the products, the services, the offerings. That's what you do for a living. Yeah, and Jennifer from Stitchwork staff account, she knows a lot of my other students because she's been a student of mine now for a couple years. My goodness, Jennifer. Um, she says, if you need anything, just ask. I'm not that hard to find. Yeah, when it comes to like more techie stuff, depending upon what you're talking about, she's good at it. She is the best. I'm still doing a lot of my own work, but I did start hiring out my Pinterest work. That was just too much. Yeah. I don't know who this is. So I am going to remove. Okay. Totally agree with the website for sure. Yeah, and for a lot of you that might be your, main priority for January 2022, as well as just keeping your business moving and getting sales, right? So that is something you need to prioritize. Even me, I'm not perfect. I mean, I know I was tremendously sick this year, but that's not a panacea and a cure-all excuse. So the two websites, that's my main priority. After I get Planathon wrapped up, hopefully Barney and I can get that done by Friday. And then my designer, she's not in Cebu, Philippines, but she's a little bit more mainland than Barney. She's been having a hard time at times uploading stuff too. If you're in Funnel Dynasty, we're still trying to get the remaining PDFs that we owe you, including those two bonus PDFs. Two of the bonuses are like bigger PDFs. We're trying to get that to you. I know that they're still doing work throughout the Philippines to reestablish like all their like telecommunication stuff. So they are I'm very sure in the next couple of days to a week we can get that kind of stuff wrapped up. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Yes, so Jennifer is a more intermediate to advanced business. I tell people all the time, especially when you have debt to pay down and off, like even me, it feels like you're pulling a rib out of your side. But my advice is you need to reinvest 25% of your profits back into your business, or you will not be able to scale and grow it. And or you will burn yourself out and get exhausted by trying to wear too many hats. Beginners have to make sure that they're beginners. It's hard for you. You're finding proof of concept, you're establishing your branding, you are making sure that you have the sales success formula in right order. I'm going to get back to the jewelry thing in a second. But beginners have to wear a lot of hats in the beginning, but once you start making money, I know you may have debt to pay down and off. I know people are like, I want to retire my husband, wife, significant other. That's lovely. That's stuff you can start talking about when you get advanced. It's nice to have goals, definitely. But that's probably more of a 1 to 5 year goal for a lot of you, because if you're anything like me and like most people, there's debt you have to pay off. There's budgets that you have to cinch in. You do have to reinvest back into your business. Things like the popularity plan really help solopreneurs, beginners, and intermediates. I do have advanced folk that buy popularity plan packs and they give it to their team to help implement that stuff out. But reinvesting into courses, reinvesting into digital assets, reinvesting for those of you who are that are product based into equipment. If you need stuff for content creation, like going with the paid version of Canva. I'm not going to drop an affiliate link here. Not everything has to be a shill, but the paid version of Canva I like because especially for your small to no team, it will help you resize images so that you can use it on Pinterest as a pin. The same image can be on Facebook and Instagram. You might be able to resize it and use it as a thumbnail for YouTube. It depends on how you're planning out and executing with your content marketing, this is all stuff we can get into more in January, of course. And also why I like the paid version of Canva too. I think it's like 99 bucks a year. And again, talk to your tax professional. You can probably write some or all of that off against your income. The other thing that I really love about the paid version of Canva, besides like so many other things are unlocked that you don't have to pay for piecemeal, in terms of like graphics and assets. So that opens up a whole new world for you. But also the background removal tool. I forget what the heck it's called. Oh, it's life-saving. It really is. Even being able to give that to my designer, she's like, thank God, because it's just a snap to get backgrounds taken off. So if I had photo shoots done, boom, she can pull out the background from the photo shoot and put it on a thumbnail, put it on a graphic, put it on a pin, whatever she wants to do. In terms of jewelry, people always say to me, like, coaches and course creators got it easy because if somebody wants to lose weight or they want to like organize, they want to like, improve themselves in any way, that's a clear pain point. So they have a lot of leverage on themselves. Jewelry. I mean, how could somebody sell jewelry or fill in the blank with a physical product, handmade or not, fashion or makeup? Like, how is that going to solve? We'll stick to jewelry as my answer. Like, what kind of pain point does jewelry solve? You don't need jewelry to survive. You can't eat jewelry. You know what I mean? Like, who needs all this jewelry? I once had somebody, and that's not Tiffany. I'll say it right now. I don't think it's anybody that's currently on this live stream. They said to me, who needs to buy jewelry every month? And I'm like, first of all, you are obviously not your own ideal customer. You may like jewelry, but anybody whose business, like say your be all end all is jewelry, that's all you're ever going to sell is jewelry. That's fine. Um, Number one, your ideal customer cannot be someone living paycheck to paycheck, middle class or under. You need to start tailoring, and this is research you need to do. I can't do this for you guys. There are certain colors and shades of colors that turn people off who are upper middle class and above. There are certain colors and fonts and stuff that attract them. Okay. You are looking for upper middle class and above clientele, any of you, because theoretically, people should be buying your offerings, products, services, or both every single month. Uh, so, a real jewelry freak of any kind is somebody who there's no such thing as too much jewelry for them. And if they're not living paycheck to paycheck, they have some money every month to buy a jewelry treat to please themselves. That's a passion point, but really good leveraging, really good marketing leverages pain as opposed to just passion. So some of your relationship marketing content can be talking about like how to like store jewelry properly or clean jewelry properly or what stones or what tints or what metals are on fashion point versus not. And you could be talking shop with jewelry freaks all the time, and they're going to love you because you love what they love. But to leverage pain points for ideal customers when you're selling jewelry, you have to people who are into jewelry or fashion or makeup or skincare, they share very similar underlying pain points. And that is they need to feel accepted, they need to feel valued, they need to feel beautiful. Somebody who doubles down on jewelry, who is upper middle class and above, they're probably a little bit older. They might be older range millennial to Gen X. Nobody ever friggin' markets to Gen X. We're the ones that are in our prime and tend to make better money than millennials. Why do millennials get all the attention? Can you tell them Gen X? But seriously, the older you get, the bloom of the youth rose has fallen off of you. And you may or may not be your own ideal goal weight. You still want to look young. You want to look passionate. You want to feel relevant. You want attention. You want heads to still snap around. And if you're a jewelry freak, the jewelry helps you do what older, perhaps heavier women are doing with makeup, with skincare, with their nails, with their hair, whatever. The pain point for a jewelry freak that's upper middle class and above is to still look fresh and trendy and in the now. Does this make sense? Like, that's not enough. You still have to narrow down more in terms of your ideal customer, that's still kind of broad. But those are important underpinnings if I'm selling jewelry or fashion or makeup or skincare, right? I don't want to sell the young girls that are barely making it. Because sure, they love money, they love skincare and jeans and fashion and everything. Drop that link, girl. Canva rocks. I'll have to do it on the replay. I don't have Canva up right now. Purses, same thing with purses. Absolutely. I'm Gen X too, says Carol. Well, given the age of your kids, I would have guessed that, Miss Carol. Gosh, I love that background remover, especially now that you can adjust and add shadows. It's gotten so good. Canva's always reinvesting into its tools, and I don't think the pro price has gone up. So they're really packing in a lot. So I agree with you, Tiffany. Daniela says, had an Instagram influencer contact us and I panicked. Oh, girl, we're not ready for an influx of online business. Still figuring out art shows with website versus inventory. Oh, Miss Daniela. I know though. Can I tell you, like a couple years ago, I had a bigger influencer that was not Renee Christine approach me, and I kind of got a little panicky. And I've been doing my thing for 8 years. Tiffany says, totally got it on that aspect. Question, what would you suggest conducting the research for that info? I just can't seem to find too much through years of researching. I think I'm looking in the wrong places. Probably what research you have gleaned is a good start. Hold on. Gen X rocks. And yes, marketing to looking and feeling gorgeous and noticed. Those are pain points, okay, that will help you to sell practically anything. Daniela says, jewelry is the number one sale item on art shows and Ren fairs from my observation. It's a huge niche to plug into. Melissa Pickle is the master of craft. Absolutely, Melissa is an advanced business owner of mine. I've helped her over since 2019, like really amp up and ramp up her brand. And Melissa is selling most every week. So if you're on her email list, you'll see it. The same thing with another advanced student of mine, Donna Huslander. And both of them were like, back in 2020, we had this conversation. Same thing with Onika Ben Schwartz, who sells through Design Pretty. They're like, it's counterintuitive. You would think the more emails you would send, the more unsubscribes you get. When you first start leaning into that, you might see, larger numbers of unsubscribes because you're readjusting your corporate culture. But anybody who's going to jump off your list when they subscribe to a business's email list, they weren't likely going to buy from you anyway. So you didn't turn off people who were going to buy from you anyway. So, you didn't really lose anything. But they found within a matter of a month or two, boom, sales started going up. It is unrealistic. This isn't 10, 20 years ago. It is unrealistic to put up your own website, which is still important to do to look more valid as a real business and not a fly-by-night, to seem trustworthy. You do need your own website, and you should be conducting all or most of your own business off that website. You can use Amazon, depending upon what your business model you're using, as a traffic source. You could use Udemy if you're a coach or a course creator, or Skillshare as a traffic source. You can use Etsy for product-based business as a traffic source. But at the end of the day, you want to run everything as much as possible through your own website. It is cheaper for you to do so. I don't recommend just getting off of Etsy or Amazon or whatever makes sense to your business model. I would just have your highest and best sellers there to keep drawing more traffic to you, but I wouldn't double and triple and quadruple down on somebody else's platform. Like with Etsy for the last couple of years, they've been cross-selling other people's stuff against yours to create solution sets for the people. They're not out to help you, they're out to help themselves. So, if you're getting a fair amount of traffic on Etsy, I just wouldn't put any more effort into it. I would start making sure I'm capturing leads onto my email list so I can drive them to my website forevermore, right? And then out in the wild on social media and your own website, it should be totally optimized for conversions. I'm still messing with my HAR. I don't know why. But I was going down an alley and then I forgot what I was saying. Apologies. I forgot what my ultimate point was. Here's the thing, Tiffany, you're probably doing research based on the jewelry in general. Plus, and that's not a bad place to start gathering some information. That's the industry that you're working in, right? That your business model is running from. And then you're probably looking at whatever types of jewelry or styles of jewelry you're creating. Okay. And that's still some more important intel. It's not wasted intel to see sales and trends and stuff like that. But Stacey's sales success formula starts with the person first, not the product. It's the person, it's the pain point, and then your products or offerings, like whatever it is they're going to buy from you, that's at the end. You're probably doing things back asswards. The research that you're doing that's more products and industry based, again, is an important start. But you have to pick your ideal customer first. Demographic based information is where we all tend to start, and we should, because that's like setting up the skeleton for the ideal customer. You need to put flesh on the bones of that person, though. So once you're done with name, rank, serial number, generation, household income, educated or not, married, coupled up or not, kids or not, what are they doing for a living or not, then the flesh that you put on the bones is like, how do I put this? I don't want to give away what I teach in Funnel Dynasty, but I will say this. The flesh on the bones thing is like the ideal business best friend that you're creating, that you could talk shop with this person all day about their pain point. So let me draw a parallel. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, which is my family's business, they bought it in 2002. By 2015, they almost sold it because they were like, we're barely profitable. We're profitable, but we're barely profitable. It's not worth it. I begged them to give me 2016 to help them with their content marketing and also to set up an email list. They didn't have an email list. They're like, nobody needs an email list for a hamburger, hot dog, ice cream joint. People get too much email. I'm like, you do not understand. Nowadays, when they say that by email, they're getting to 10,000 people on their email list. But even when they had 1,000 or less, when they had a coupon or they had a special that we talked about in the email, when we sent out the email, it was like printing money. But if we were just doing content marketing about the product, the edible product, the hamburger, the milkshake, the hot dog, you know what I mean? We'd be drowned in every other food service establishment like ours, or every diner, everything that sells hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, and milkshakes and ice cream. You can't start with the product. You have to start with the individual. So of course we're like, okay, our content should be geared towards someone who's female, someone who's Gen Y, because they're upwardly mobile. They need to be married or coupled up. They need to have 2 or more kids that are school age. They're running these kids back and forth. They don't want to take them to the same old drive-through. They have money, so they're not going to be like, oh, I can only afford McDonald's and only once a month. No, they're willing to at least once a week when they're running their kids around after school. They want it. They're foodies, and their kids are foodies. And they're the type of people who want statement piece meals. So we have our monster burgers, we have our freak shakes, we have our designer milkshakes, right? This is stuff that's more interesting to them than the same old, same old. We also do the basics very well, of course. So she doesn't just want to feed her kids at the drive-through and run them to dance and after-school activities and sports. She wants to create over the top. She wants to get over the. I tell my mother all the time, I love her, but she needs to stop while I'm live. I love you, Mom. But seriously, so she wants to feed her kids over the top food to create over the top memories with the one she loves. She is multitasking. Do you understand that this is the person, the demographics, and then I put flesh on the bones, what her life looks like? She probably works outside the home and she's probably commuting an hour or more either way. So she doesn't have a ton of time with her kids on weekdays. She's hauling them around town like a sack of potatoes to all their after school activities. She's running hither and yon to like whatever stuff they're doing after school to watch them at practice or whatever. She's bringing food or she's picking them up and taking them out to eat. She doesn't have time to cook. They're all foodies anyway. She's not sweating, oh my God, I'm paying an extra $2, $3 for the monster burger when I could get the burger at the drive-through at McDonald's. She doesn't want to do McDonald's for her kids because as a foodie, she understands a lot of reasons why she doesn't want to go to McDonald's. I can create content that talks shop with her all day long. Is it a blog post? Is it a YouTube video to show why we're better quality, how our statement piece foods and cakes and stuff are made? Do I talk about it on a live stream? Like, I need to know the person because if I took out, I've named my ideal customer Jessica. If I take Jessica out for a milkshake at Joe's, I can talk about her pain point that she's a busy mom. She makes a ton of money, but she doesn't have a ton of time. She can invest into her kids. She and her kids love food. They love to take selfies with their food videos. They like to brag it up on social, the crazy food that they ate. Or that they're at Joe's and everybody knows that Joe's is like fun food and fun times, right? I could talk shop with her all day long about her pain point. I need to make memories with my kids. I don't just want to haul them around. I do want better food for them. Even if it's like extreme food, I know the burgers are fresh, right? Do you see why it's so important that you pick the ideal customer first? Then you understand the pain point that you want to address. You can't be a Swiss Army knife. Joe's isn't going to sell you like weight loss food. However, can you swap out grilled chicken for crispy fried chicken? Yes. Do we have gluten-free options? Yes. But is that going to be, I'm not a Swiss Army knife. When I do my content marketing, always or almost always, I'm talking about the over-the-top food. I am like totally going nuts about like the next designer, food collection that we're putting out, right? So, like, does that make sense? You need to know who this person is so that you can talk shop to them in your content. Once you know who the person is, you can do research to kind of understand if you're not your own ideal customer, you're not living the life that they are. If you are, you could talk shop all day long. Now you could take this person out for a drink. You could take them out for appetizers or a bite to eat, and you can talk their language and let them feel seen and heard, while you're talking shop about their pain point, about the intersecting interest that would take them to a business like yours. Please put makes sense down below if this makes sense to you. And Tiffany, I know Michelle is asking you, Carol, I understand. I dumped Etsy for the cross-selling alone. I get that. It pissed people off. If you have a certain level of success, they like force you to pay into advertising. But for any of my students where it's like, I get a lot of traffic through Etsy, I'm like, keep your signature product line collection or the basics that tend to bring most people to you on Etsy, but you're always talking to them about, can I subscribe you on my email list? I'll take 20% off your current sale. Or if that's not important to you, I'll email you a coupon for 20% off your next purchase from me. And forevermore, you're emailing your list and driving them where? Not Etsy, not Udemy, not Skillshare, not Amazon. It's to your website because the transactional cost of doing business there is way cheaper, always. And Michelle, I love your question. And that's a great question to ask. But Tiffany, it's okay that you jump around and you sell everywhere. Once you are out of the beginner stage, for sure, I want you to be more omnipresent and I want you to be more omni-channel about where you sell. Your presence, beginners should only be on the top 2 social media platforms that are best for their ideal customer. You're a solopreneur. Maybe you have a small team as you're getting out of beginnerhood. But there's only 24 hours a day. And especially if you're wearing all the hats, you can't be everywhere as a beginner. I don't want you to be. You're going to burn out. It's not going to be possible. Intermediate's going to start building a team. Intermediate's making more money more often because they're selling at least 3 times a month. So they're bringing in more money. They've worked out the kinks that beginners have. So it's not a matter of whether they're going to be profitable, it's how much they're going to be profitable. And just like everybody else, they should be reinvesting 25% into their back into their business. Hardware, software, other tools, trainings, digital assets, whatever, to help them and increasingly their team get out more and more often. Intermediate should be on 3 social media platforms because they've worked out the kinks, they have more money, they have more tools, they probably are using Later or something like that to help auto schedule out at least some of their content. They will increasingly have a team to help them too, even if it's 1 or 2 independent contractors. Once you're at 6 figures and above, you need to have a team. You're making more, that 25% will be bigger. You're reinvesting back into your business. If you're not running ads by advanced, I don't, you really should. Beginners should not be running ads. But I did do a live stream a couple weeks ago that talked about omnipresent, omni-channel. I'd refer you back to that because I'm going to be wrapping this up in a minute. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. You can find omni-channel, omnipresent being discussed in 1, if not 2 live stream replays. I have a playlist for my 2021 live streams, so you can go there. A lot of people are saying makes sense. Name, rank, and serial number. So I don't mind the Tiffany's jumping around. You want to be able to take sales wherever you can, even for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. We do a lot of traffic through our website. Our website gets a lot of activity. And our website's up to date, so I don't have to do too much to it. Yay. But I still have my 2 that I have to finish updating, getting launched, whatever. But we do a fair amount, of course, in person because we're brick and mortar. But we are omni-channel because we also do a lot of business every day off our website. We can take orders through messages via Facebook Messenger. We take orders through Instagram DMs, TikTok messages. We can. If people are in the tri-state area, depending upon what they want, they can order from us. TikTok, I really have to talk to the team that manages TikTok to see how much we get in sales through TikTok. We're at least at 825,000 fans or followers on TikTok presently. But on Facebook, we get around $1,000 worth of sales plus or minus every week off Facebook alone, and a similar amount, if not more, on Instagram every week. That's thousands of dollars through social media channels that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. There are a lot of mom and pop shop brick and mortar businesses that are not in the know. Okay. So you need to be able to be nimble and quick and grab up a sale anywhere that you get it. Perfect advice, says Michelle. Ginia Weaver, I'm sorry, I didn't greet you before. I didn't see you. Hello. She says, you were going to say if you're not your ideal customer, then thank you. When you're live, it's easy to lose track. So thank you, Ginia. I appreciate it. And here's the thing. If you're not your ideal customer, okay, you're going to have to make sure that you do so much research month in, month out in terms of not just your market and your industry, not just the space that you want to occupy in your market or industry. So it's jewelry, but are you doing statement piece jewelry? Are you doing, birthstone jewelry? Like there's that whatever slice of the industry that you're in. But if you're not your ideal customer, like I'm not Gen Y, so I'm Gen X. And I don't have an elementary to middle school kid. I have a high schooler. I would be talking differently to somebody who has young kids versus a high schooler versus someone that has no kids. They're single and they want to mingle. Depending upon who the ideal customer is, if you're not your own ideal customer that just from the hip, you can talk shop because you're where they are in this snapshot of life. Does that mean that you can't sell well to them? No, that does not mean that at all. But you will probably have to do extra work to make sure that you're using the slang terminology that they're currently using. That your Jive Dictionary, if you're an airplane movie fan lover, the Jive Dictionary, the first time I saw that, I laughed until I screamed. It was so funny because it was the old lady doing it too, right? So you don't want to be the old lady trying to speak Jive to people who are like, what the you need to be able to speak the lingo. what terms of art, what trends are hot, new, and now versus so last year or so God help you last decade. You need to be able to speak to people to where they are. So if you're not your ideal customer, here's an example of one of my students from a couple years ago where she's like, I'm definitely not my ideal customer. I create Renaissance fair clothing for people who love to go to the Ren fairs. And I'm like, you don't? She goes, I went once and said, not for me. This is not for me. I will never go back. But she went with her 2 kids. They loved it. They wanted to keep going back with their friends. So their friends needed costumes. And after a year or two, everyone wants updated costumes, and word of mouth spread. She loved creating the costumes, but she didn't love everything else that went with it. So she can talk about how it's made. She can show people behind the scenes. That's easy for her. But to talk about going to Renaissance fairs and what is kind of like new or different in terms of going to next year's Renaissance fairs, she has to go out of her way to research the facts and circumstances within which someone's going to use her products, right? So she's not her own ideal customer, but if she continues to do research about where the industry is going, tips, tricks, trends, and techniques for that, she follows influencers and other businesses on Instagram to see what kind of content they're putting out and the type of comments that people are putting. What comment threads do the YouTube videos have? What comment threads do the Facebook and Instagram posts have? Because when you're fly on the wall and you see people out in the wild, that's what I mean when I talk about studying your ideal customer out in the wild. You know what? The industry information is great, but sometimes it's out of date. Things are moving at the speed of light. You need to go where your people are. For Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, I'm going to go to foodie groups and I'm going to be a fly on the wall. What kind of comfort food is everybody into for 2022? Sure, I could do some industry research, but you know what? The people out in the wild are talking in way more detail than the industry research shows. A lot of times industry research is done by bloated legacy big companies that have old corporate culture kind of things. They're very old school. So they may give you some nuggets that are useful. The most useful is studying your people out in the wild. So if you're just looking at jewelry on social media, you're going to drown and it's not all going to be applicable. Whom do you serve? What's their pain point? Then you give them your offerings. And your content marketing is talking to that person. Will you have people that are not your ideal customer buy from you? Sure. Will a lot of your content marketing speak to them nonetheless? I'm sure. Do you know how many different foodies we sell to Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill? Tons. But within 2 years of knowing who our ideal customer was and speaking to them directly and or indirectly in terms of our content marketing, we went from barely profitable to a 7-figure business. And we're a single location, mom and pop shop in the middle of where the hell are you, Dutchess County, New York? And we're 765 square feet. Tiny, tiny, ridiculous. So we can do it, and we're selling hamburgers, hot dogs, milkshakes, ice cream. Sure, we're edgier about it, but we have competitors across the street. You could bike 5 minutes up the road in another direction and get to a competitor. You can walk diagonally to another competitor, and they all hate us because we're mobbed and they're not. The end. Okay? Know whom you're talking to because that's the lens through which you shoot what your website looks like, what the content is, how you put flesh on the bones of your product or services or offering description. That's how you email to them. That's what your social media content looks like. You are talking to that person. Other people are welcome, but you're only really creating your marketing content for one person. Okay. And then you study them because if you understand the person, then you can go to the influencers that type of person would be attracted to. Then you know what Facebook groups and pages for them to go to. Then you kind of understand what YouTube channels they want to look at. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, I could name like 10 YouTube channels that my people will look at. Some of it for hot food, some of it for cold food and cakes. I can study them all day long. Bridget says, I still want to figure out how to use selling on Instagram and Facebook shops like Etsy totally as a sales funnel, not our mean online sales. And of course, we have the brick and mortar. Yep. Oh, Janet Leary. Hi, Janet. You're going to want to start at the beginning of this because I think, if I do say so myself, this was a very productive, hour and a half almost. Holy moly. Yes, Tiffany, I thought you had saw those. So she liked the omnipresent live streams. Yeah, for those that haven't, go to the playlist for my 2021 lives and only a couple back. There's like two. I think I did it as a two-parter where I defined omnipresent and omni-channel the way I've taught it for 8 years, and then like how you can start to lean into that stuff no matter what you sell. Janet says, I did great on Etsy for Christmas. Great, but nothing on my website. I did all the right marketing, but they still bought from Etsy. What are you doing with your Etsy people to get them on your email list? Number one, are you talking about your own website enough? Because you are allowed in 1 to 2 transactional emails to invite them to come over. You can't do it in every transactional email. After 2 invites, you need to stop. You don't want to violate the Anti-Can Spam Act. So there's transactional emails for Etsy, and that's all the emails you're going to send out. Same thing for Udemy, same thing for Skillshare. You really have to read the terms of service, terms of use as well, so you're careful. But if you're getting a fair amount of them to get on your email list, then what surprises me is, or what I'll say is, are you really email marketing? Because if you're not, or you're barely doing it, you're certainly not emailing your list every week, do or die situation, then where are they thinking about you? On Etsy. That's where they're thinking about you. You need to get them on the email list and give them a reason why they are not only going to stay on the email list and be more likely than not to open your emails, but you've got to give them an enticement to buy through your website. So you're going to have, if you're a products-based business, products and collections that aren't going to be found on Etsy. So they have to buy through your website. That's an easy one. And I would not go out of my way to go too crazy with sales and promotions on Etsy. I would make it so that you had to be on my website to get that. So another example using Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill used to be, and I'm sure a lot of my older folk remember this, older like me, and even my older millennials. If you wanted a coupon or like a buy one, get one free or whatever from a brick and mortar food service establishment, a lot of the schools might be selling like sheets with coupons on it or those coupon books or whatever every year. And then people would rip out the coupon and redeem it. From 2002 to around 2016, even, because I had a lot of things to fix in the meantime, we still participated in those coupons. It would bring people to us. But a lot of those people wouldn't come back until the next year with the coupons because we didn't get like a bajillion of them turned in. And when we did, they'd be sitting there. A lot of times the people working the window would say they're sitting there with their calculator and then they're planning out where they're going to go next week because they're loyal to the coupons. They're not loyal to you when it's like that. So with Etsy, they're loyal to the platform. They're not loyal to you yet. So by 2017, we're like, nope, we're not going to be in those booklets and fundraisers and stuff anymore. You want to save money? Cool. You got to get on our email list. And then we had to post signs saying we weren't going to, accept any coupons anymore unless you were on our email list. In all fairness, those coupons would expire every year, but you'd have people coming and arguing, please take it. Nope. And of course, big jump up in people subscribing to our email list for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. You need to take command and harness them back. Okay. So you're either not email marketing at all or much, or you are not giving them exclusivity. People who are your email VIPs get the exclusive new collections. You're just going to have your signature product line collection on Etsy. Using Etsy as a traffic source is fine if you're a products-based business. but I wouldn't be doing double backflips to put new stuff on Etsy. I would definitely make it clear you want the new stuff, you want the good sales, you want the BOGOs, you want double dip coupons, because some Etsy people will do double dip coupons for people who do go through their website. You have to go to my website. You have to buy from me directly. That's all. That's what I would do. Ah, and they all hate us, said Tiffany. Yes, girl. Yes. Best thing said ever. Love you, Stacey. I love you too. I love all you guys. I love what I do and I love who I do it for, which is why every day in the month of January 2022, I will be going live on this YouTube channel. And as long as there's no tech issues, the replays will be here. So, Ginny, and make sure that you're subscribed to me if you're not already. Anybody else watching this live or on the replay, same deal, because you don't want to miss out. Make sure you click that bell notification and select all. If you are subscribed to me, like you're already subscribed to me, still click that bell notification and make sure it says all. In all fairness, even though you have all clicked, if you don't have all clicked, you're probably not going to get very many notifications from me. If you click all, you will get more, but not all. I know it's something that YouTube's still struggling with. So make sure you're on my email list if you are not. I do have like a freebie. I'm going to change out the freebie starting next year. So the freebie that I have right now in this snapshot of time while I'm live is a PDF that will help you deal with difficult people, whether they're in your personal life, your professional life, or both. So you can opt into my email list that way. It is free. You should get the PDF. You can also go to my Facebook group, Content Marketing for Conversions. There are 2 freebies in the files section of that group. And other cool things will appear there from time to time. Also, of course, otherwise, why have the Facebook group? So make sure you're in the Facebook group if you are not. If you're a popularity plan devotee, I put the link down below for the January popularity plan. It will be on sale through the end of the year. If you have the December popularity plan, you already have your New Year's post for January. There won't be a New Year's graphic or corresponding caption for that. But starting from January 2nd till towards the end of January, your 15 social media graphics and corresponding templated social media captions are definitely going to help you through January 2nd onward. And then also for the same price, you have the 4 templated emails, and one is assigned to every week of the month. You can't mess up. And that's it. So I had no idea about the all, said Michelle McLaughlin. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. So that's why I mention it. So other people were like, my ears are going to bleed. You always say that. But there's always somebody who didn't know about the all notification. If you're on my email list, I will take pains to shoot, even if it's just a fast email letting you know what the topic is for the day. Make sure you subscribe to make sure you go, and I will reconfirm the time. Also, because I did unlock this feature once I hit 1,000 subs last year, I can do community posts, so I'll try to do those too. I was so super sick this year. I barely was able to do anything with my YouTube channel until later on in the year, but I'm at almost 1,500 subs. So make sure that you recommend me out. If anybody ever bitches and moans and says there's no such thing as like free coaching, everybody's trying to sell to me all the time. I mean, okay, I'm reminding you about the popularity plan here, but that doesn't happen all the time. Oh, I need help and no one wants to help me. You best be sharing out this YouTube channel, because every single day in January 2022, we will be having a live stream and replay coaching. Marquina, now my bell is black, said Michelle McLaughlin. Good. As long as you've clicked all, you're in good shape. Marquina Rawlings checked, said, I double checked all good. Janelle Leary. I'm sorry. I think I called you Janet. Bad Stacey. Says, that is great advice. My email list is too small. I think that will become a goal for 2022. So let me very quickly entice you, Janelle, to grow that email list, because when you do that, you are growing your sales. Why? Because as many of my students know, this is painting with a broad brush from month to month, but approximately 3/4 of your sales every month should come from your email list. And only about 25% of them will come from social posts, will come from, like if you have a YouTube channel, your YouTube, will come from your website. Your YouTube channel, you can, just like I did, you can post a link. It's your YouTube channel. You can post links in comments and pin them, or you can have live clickable links in descriptions. So you can get sales from content marketing directly. And I'm not discouraging anybody from doing that. But most people need to be kind of ascended into a relationship with you and or your brand. So most people, if they don't raise their hand to get on your email list, they are not very likely going to buy from you. That's why, again, if you shovel people to nothing but your website, 98% of them won't buy on the first trip. They'll check you out, I'm sure, but then they'll flit away. And if you haven't captured that lead on your email list, you're not reminding them every single week at a minimum that you exist, what your business is, who it serves, and what it helps those people to do. And people are busy. They're not going to remember you unless you remind them. You have to do what it takes through email marketing and parallel through content marketing to remind people that you exist, what you do, and who you do it for, and the outcome that they can expect from your offerings. So if you don't have an email list or much of one, and you're not working it, you're not happy with your sales, boom, that's why. All right, Daniela says, thank you so much, Stacey, for these live chats. It helps so much. A happy new year to you. All right, everybody. Happy New Year to you guys. I hope to see you and all your friends come January 2022. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.